Welcome to the Kindness Is podcast, where we take a deep dive into the true meaning of kindness. I'm your host, Kaitlin Johnstone, the co-founder of Kind Cotton. Let's dive in. Hey all, welcome back to the Kindness Is pod. I am doing my first ever solo episode, and I am a little nervous about that. And I can't quite figure out why. I have been talking all things kindness on our various social media platforms now for almost 6 years. But the thought of hopping on this very new, very raw and honest and open adventure and doing it solo has been really frightening. So bear with me on this episode. It's probably going to be brief, but it's going to be filled with love and filled with excitement because I want to talk to you today about the direction in which we see Kind Cotton going. So as I mentioned, we started about 6 years ago. I was an educator in the state of Florida. My husband had always worked in custom apparel, and I noticed this lack of access to books. And I really had a passion for wanting to fix that. So I came home to Kevin one day and I said, hey, I have this idea. I want to create a clothing line. And with that, I want to donate a book for every single item that is purchased. Never did I think in a million years that I would be sitting here today saying to all of you that we have now donated over 100,000 books to kids. Never did I think that Kind Cotton would become something more than just a book donation, but it would become a space in which people could come together to talk about the true meaning of kindness, to talk about inclusion and justice and empathy and love, and have these really honest and raw conversations about what it means to cultivate a truly kind world. So here we are. We started a podcast. We share action steps on how to show up. And now I want to create an even more powerful space in which we can all come together and know that we are not alone. Listen, we have been living in a world of chaos for the past few years, and I want to take that chaos and turn it into community. So I've started working on this space, the space that we're going to be putting out hopefully over the next couple of months. And I want to just kind of brain dump with all of you about what that space is going to look like. I want this to be a community in which we can all come together and not only talk about kindness, but talk about how we're going to show up for ourselves when we feel as though we're constantly showing up for others and when we feel as though we may be isolated in doing so. So the way that I'm picturing this, and again, this is like almost a huge brainstorming session with all of you, is that I want to have month-long sessions in which we will meet once a week. And we're going to start out by talking about the history of kindness. So if you were to open up a dictionary today and you looked at the definition of kindness, what you would see is the quality of being friendly, generous, and considerate. Now, if you have been following us for any length of time, you know that we believe in the root of everything that we do, that kindness is so much more. And I think we can't develop this community together unless we start talking about how kindness has been weaponized. Kindness being weaponized means that we're being quiet in times of injustice to appease the comfort of others. You know, I posted recently that it's nice to hold a door open for a stranger, but it is kind to demand that systems are put in place in order for doors of access to be left open for all people. It's nice to say that love is love, but it's kind to shut down transphobic rhetoric and push for LGBTQ plus rights. So that is something that I'm thinking I want to develop this whole almost mastermind around, and being able to talk to each other about the difference between the two, being able to really show up for what is truly kind. And then I kind of see ourselves going on a journey of taking real action steps. I never imagined in a million years that when something happened in the world, people would look to us for some answers or for some resources. So I also want this to be a space in which we can be together in community while we are looking for the resources to institute true change, while we are looking for the things that it is going to take to actually build and cultivate a brighter future. I also want to incorporate some self-care and guided meditation, and truly allowing ourselves to slow down and feel all of this chaos that is going on around us. Because I think if you were anything like me, you just feel as though, and this is a product of America, but you just feel as though you're constantly on the go, and you're constantly needing to do more, and you're constantly having to give. And what does actual true self-care look like? And then ultimately, what I see in the end of this is making a community of people who actually thrive off of building real relationships. A community in which connection really is valued over competition. A community that knows we are not alone, where we can show up for one another, where we can check in on each other, and we can hold space for each other. Because going forward, we're going to need that. We're going to need all the self-love that we can find, and we're also going to need these true, deep connections amongst one another. So that was a lot of information, and this is a journey that I have been contemplating for years now, and I'm so happy that I feel as though I finally have the space to bring this to fruition. And I really, really, really hope that you will consider joining me. I hope that you will listen to this and truly give me feedback on what it is that you want to see, on what it is that you feel as though you can gain from a community like this, or a mastermind class like this. I don't really want to say class because I don't think that I'm necessarily teaching anything. I think that I'm creating a space in which we can all learn from one another. This week's podcast episode reminded me that we can do hard things. Was it the best episode that we've put out? Probably not. Am I still going to be nervous going forward doing solo episodes? I'm sure I am. But I had some really exciting news that I wanted to share with all of you. And the most authentic way that I felt as though I could do that was by talking about it and sharing our passion surrounding this project. So please let us know what you are thinking. Honestly, all of your feedback has meant the world to us. Every rate and review and comment keeps us going. And we're just so, so grateful that you are on this journey of cultivating a more kind world with us. Thank you all so much for listening to this episode of the Kindness Is podcast. If you love it and it's adding even a little bit of value to your life, we would love, love, love if you could subscribe, rate, and review so we can reach even more people and make this world a little bit more kind.